So, CARE, before I was put in jail for 15 months because they helped to slander my name, and you've gotten to see that the things that I claimed happened actually happened. These people want to be predatory towards me over the Natalie Bollinger situation in specific. And then I'm told that the cops can't do anything about people in Tillamook assaulting me because they heard a rumor about something that absolutely is not true. Who killed Natalie Bollinger? Well, Joseph Michael Lopez was sentenced to 48 years in prison for it. So they found the guy that did that. Who abused Natalie? Her dad. He went to prison for it. Anyway, this video, the reason that I'm making it is because there's apparently a letter for me from Social Security down at CARE. So I got to go down there to pick up my mail. Again, this is one of those situations where I'm dependent upon my predators. If I don't get the mail, then they send it back after 3 days, and then I get shut off from everything. And like, I'm obviously disabled. I can't turn off my disabilities just because you guys don't want to hear about it. I can't just turn off PTSD when somebody is assaulting me. I'm having to relive a lot of different assaults while I'm being assaulted. Now, as you guys know, I'm trying to turn in mandatory reporters who refuse to do their jobs. We're going to go over a quick scenario here. This is called the end of shift game. So when you try to turn in abuse to deputies while you're in the jail, the deputies will tell you that they'll do it at a certain time, and then they just don't show up. Most of the time, they'll claim that they'll show up. Let's say the end of shift is at 4 o'clock. They'll tell you that they'll be there to listen to you at 4:30. End of shift game. Or they'll tell you, all right, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll discuss this tomorrow, and we'll sit down in the interview room. And then the next day, they don't show up, and you find out they're on vacation. Nearly every investigator that I had was on vacation for a good portion of time. So, mandatory reporters are no different from anybody else who might potentially be facing prison time. If anybody looks at the evidence, they will try playing victim. They will try to antagonize you. They will try to bully you. They will raise their voices at you. They will accuse you of raising your voice. They'll talk over everything that you say. They'll sell their own narrative. They'll gaslight the shit out of you. What happens when you turn your predator into your predator? Well, it's kind of like when you try to tell your husband or wife that there's an issue. More likely when you have to tell your wife that there's an issue. She's going to interrupt you and claim that it's your fault. You did this to yourself, and so on, and so on, and so on. No, those are not valid excuses for not doing your fucking job as a mandatory reporter. Now, this guy, Sean, who didn't call yesterday, I called today, tried to talk to him as well. Because I have no contact information for him. I can't send him anything. So he's obviously not going to turn it in. He made that clear. He was beating around the bush with it. But things that he claimed he was going to do, I got to wait till Monday. How long does a mandatory reporter have to turn in the abuse? They have to turn it in right away, and they have to make a written report within 24 hours. Did he do that? I mean, I tried giving him the benefit of the doubt, but at this point, it's obvious that he's not taking the situation seriously. He's not taking the abuse seriously. And all the shit that I've had to post on the goddamn internet is because every other mandatory reporter before him did the same fucking thing. Now, they have two choices. Now, mind you, mandatory means It's ordained by law. Written in stone, so to speak. The law requires them to do their job right away. Now, there's plenty of evidence, and I'm trying to set it up so that I can actually show this guy the evidence. I obviously cannot take it to the police safely. This guy's new. Maybe he'll do his job. No, he's not going to. I gotta wait until Monday? Holy hell. That is not taking the situation seriously. Now what's gonna happen between now and Monday? I basically gotta hide out in this fucking tent. I gotta try to venture out at the hours that I am least likely to encounter one of my predators, which is like 4 in the fucking morning. Of course, now that I said that on here, I might have to deal with these douchebags at 4 in the morning. I'm socially isolated due to ongoing abuse that these people are ignoring. All right? Every time I go in there trying to turn in abuse, they have to turn it in every fucking time. There are dozens and dozens of crimes that I had to try to turn into care and other mandatory reporters for them to say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I have to call this place. I have to call that place. I'll find out for you. No, you fucking won't. You don't know shit about the fucking situation. You're not bothering to find out. How are you going to know who the fuck you're supposed to call if you haven't looked at anything? Now, if you see the situations that I've been in, you know that my life is at risk. You know that these predators are not going to stop. Their own family members have contacted me to let me know that they're not going to stop and that they're being harassed. Like the situation with Andrew Wolnez. We have posted that on the fucking internet. We've posted that on YouTube. When I say we, I'm including you guys as my audience because you guys are witnesses that these things are absolutely true. Now with the medical stuff, I would love to just hold it out in front of my camera and let you guys read everything that's on there. That's what I would prefer to do. I don't know what's allowed to be seen and what's not, though. I don't know what they can try to twist into some obscure law that they're just trying to use to prevent me from showing evidence. Lock me up for a while longer so they can destroy more evidence, like their body cams. After a year, they're allowed to destroy it, which means that if a mandatory reporter doesn't do their job, well, when the police abuse you, they get to destroy the evidence of the abuse. And they'll just save the little bits and pieces they can use against you later. This is not fucking okay. My attorneys were all mandatory reporters who refused to do their jobs. I made all 3 of the calls that I needed to make this morning within probably 10 minutes. Sean wasn't there. Sean Hubert was not at CARE. He's not going to be there till Monday. We know that. That's one of the calls out of the way. Another call to Christina Lugal about the situation because she is aware that these are not delusions. I was able to get a hold of her. She's getting ready to go into court. So I got to wait. And then the 3rd call was to Marie Miller to let her know about the lack of enthusiasm, so to speak, from the people at CARE and how it puts me at further risk. Andrew Wolnez hasn't stopped his crap. The most recent recording that I have of the situation with him is like maybe a week ago. I go out very rarely. Most of the time I go to CARE and back, or I go to the store and back, and that's fucking it. They're not taking this situation seriously, and I'm worried that when I go in there to get my mail today, that the staff who work there at CARE might try to stage an incident. So, I'm recording this because on multiple occasions, mandatory reporters who are afraid of getting in trouble did stage shit with their coworkers, including trying to intimidate me, talking over me, raising their voices over me, threatening me, and then accusing me of raising my voice. I'm hoping that doesn't happen in this particular situation, but CARE has done things like this before. So I got to go in and get one piece of mail. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get that one piece of mail. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to download this shit onto the internet. Even more evidence. I shouldn't have to post it on YouTube. If these mandatory reporters would do their jobs, I wouldn't have to post anything on YouTube. If mandatory reporters had done their job before Natalie was killed, we could have put a stop to this violence a long time ago. We could have prevented Natalie Bollinger's death. But no, you don't want to listen to a homeless man because he must be a schizophrenic, delusional fucking loser who's on fucking drugs and so on and so forth. I've heard every manner of insult that you guys can throw at me. And I'm still speaking up. I'm still taking the abuse. I'm still taking the harassment. And every single law enforcement agency that I have to go to is going to ignore the abuse because Officer Waylon Lolatai assaulted me and pretended he was assaulted. We got the video fucking evidence from that shit, but we didn't get the body cameras, which shows the things that I was saying and the things that they were saying to me. Why is it that my own attorneys intentionally withheld that from me? Huh? Her name is Amanda Balehash. And what she was doing in Boulder was helping out my predators in Broomfield, including the Broomfield Police and the Adams County Sheriff's Department. They fucked up and didn't want to admit that they fucked up. Now she's a judge in, that's right, Adams County. She went from being my public pretender after Natalie was killed and helping out my predators to being a judge in the very same county as those predators. And this isn't the only time that happened. My predators are rewarded for looking the other way. Mandatory reporters in this state include attorneys, which means that every attorney that I had, that I tried to turn in the fact that I'm being abused, I'm trying to turn in the abuse to mandatory reporters who refuse to do the job. The police will not do the job. I have taken dozens of assaults in this town. Not because I'm recording, but because of things that other people want to claim with no evidence. And I'm not allowed to show any evidence. I'm not even allowed to fucking show up in many of my court dates. Not that it matters, everybody's on fucking vacation anyway, right? Enough of this.